Hall of Famer Michael Irvin is our guest tonight, back in a familiar studio. Great to have Michael back. We're going to talk a lot of Cowboys, of course. But we want to remind folks that your new restaurant, Playmakers 88, is open in the Colony near Grandscape up there. You've been open for a little while now. How's it going?
It's going great. It really is. And everybody's come by, the fans, everybody's been great. Mike, when you said that, you're right. I used to shoot the old Michael Irvin show down here at Channel 4 when I was playing. Oh, my God. Walking in this building is always fun. But being around Cowboy fans, I tell people, I've always been on conflicts on Sundays, either beating up somebody on the football team, on another football team, or defending our Cowboys in studio somewhere since 1988. So now I get to have a little fun with some people like that are rooting for my team.
Tell us about the restaurant and sports lounge. What kind of makes it different?
Well, first of all, this is the Dallas Cowboys. We are in the Dallas Cowboys business. Make no mistake about it. That's what I told everybody that works for me at the restaurant. And then I put the Ring of Honor up, so when you come in, and it's the part that I love. I love when I see families come in and moms and dads sit down and they're pointing up and teaching the kids who the Dallas Cowboys are. Now all I did was give them a visual.
That's when they used to actually win Super Bowls, Jimmy.
Yeah, right.
All the way back then.
And that's how important it is. Since they are not doing that right now, we have to show they used to win Super Bowls. We'll be back there one day, Jimmy, just not right now. Hopefully this year.
Playmakers88.com for more information on the new restaurant. Preseason schedule is over now for the Cowboys. Oxnard portion of camp is over. Are you disappointed that the deal with CeeDee Lamb hasn't gotten done yet?
Not, I am disappointed, but I understand business, and I know that deal will get done. There's a lot of things involved in that. And I just want to say this, too. Also on Jerry's side, I know people get on Jerry. I wondered if Jerry just gave that contract up to CeeDee Lamb, which he certainly deserves and certainly has earned. He also worries about how many other people come knock on that door if he does it so easily. So I think this is all part of the game that you have to play. And before that slipper falls, or right when that slipper falls off Cinderella, they'll get a deal done.
I mean, what's Lamb missing, though? When you look, I was out at camp for quite a while. You know how important it is to kind of develop some things in training camp. He's missed a lot.
He's missed a lot. He's missed a lot. And I went one year and battled with Jerry in a contract situation right up to the Wednesday before the season started. Now, we ultimately won a Super Bowl that season. But I say this, too. The one thing I don't worry about with CeeDee is all 88s stay in great shape, no matter what. Any one of us, look at Drew, look at Dez, all of us still stay in great shape. That was the hallmark of all of our careers, so I know he will be in shape. It's just the rhythm and the vibing with the players. The part I hate right now is, and I wore the color to mess with it a little bit, all we are talking about around here is money. When I saw Travis Kelce, the first thing he talked to me about wasn't anything about money, even though he just got some more money. He was talking to me about the opportunity to three-peat. We got to get conversations back towards winning championships. Money follows that stuff. I'm just tired of talking about the color I'm wearing, which is green. That's why I wore the green. So hopefully we can stop talking about money.
So you think there's too much of that type of conversation within the Cowboys, within the locker room?
Well, it's impossible not to be when all you hear and all you see is conversations about money. Every time you turn on the TV, that's what it is. That's what it says. Oh, Dak's contract, CeeDee Lamb's contract, Michael Parsons' contract upcoming. This is part of the attack on the Cowboy fan base and on the Cowboys football club and football team that I hope they can sniff out and say, wow, I see what they're trying to do. They're keeping us apart and distracted.
You mentioned Micah Parsons. He talked at camp last week about kind of taking on a new leadership role. Do you think that's necessary for him to change his attitude in that way?
Well, leadership is always necessary. And I'm learning that even in restaurants, no matter what, leadership is always necessary. And we grow as we go in all areas, Mike. we watch Michael Parsons do such incredible things on the football field. We think off the football field, his leadership should be tantamount to what we see on the football field, but it doesn't grow like that. Doesn't work like that. That's why I tell young guys like that, you know, you can have quick success in your profession, but not be right where you need to be in your person. Those things have to work out, and I think hearing what Michael Parsons says shows you he's always had great success in what he does, but now he's growing as a leader. That's a good thing.
And here I go falling in that trap of talking about money, but Dak doesn't have his deal extended yet either. Is he the guy who can lead this team to a championship, in your opinion?
I hope.
You hope,
I
but
hope.
do you know?
No. Let me finish. That was what they call a strategic pause to make you draw in for a moment. I hope. And then wait, and everybody draws in. I hope people now back the hell up. That's what I said. You've seen what you needed to see. You've seen enough of what we have behind him. We've seen enough to know now, stop playing. Dak Prescott is our best chance to win a Super Bowl. I know all these shows out here, they love the father, they like to talk about it because we put eye gates on their TV, but the reality is, Cowboy fans, stop falling for that. Dak Prescott is our best chance to get a Super Bowl. Now, I hope that this team understands that also and make sure they get behind him and believe in him.
Before we go to break here, and much more with Michael Irvin coming up, you, of course, run a team with the greatest running back statistically in the history of the National Football League in Emmitt Smith. Now there are concerns, I think justifiably, about this running game, even though the NFL's different now than it was back then.
That's a great segue, but let me just stop you right there, Mike, because I think that's important right there. When we were just talking about Dak Prescott, now to turn to the running game and start talking about why and how important it was to get Ezekiel Elliott back here. I'm going to give you this right fast. You saw what we saw in that playoff game. You saw what we saw in that playoff game. Dak missed CeeDee early, and it seemed like they had a discourse. They didn't want to get together and talk. So having Ezekiel Elliott back, when I tell people he's so important for the protection of Dak Prescott, we always think we're talking about, oh, here comes some blitzes, here comes some rushes, and he steps up and protects Dak Prescott. No, he protects him all the way around. He's his protection in the locker room. He's the one in the football field. Because Zeke Elliott has a great deal of respect in that locker room. And it gives Dak more help controlling and leading that football team. Yes, he's our hammer, but he's also a hammer as a leader, and we need that for protection of Dak more than everything.
We continue with more with the Playmaker, Michael Irvin, right after this. We're back with Michael Irvin. Playmakers 88 is Michael's new restaurant and lounge open in the Colony. Playmakers88.com for more information there. You're obviously very close to Jerry Jones and have been for a long time. And you referenced Jerry in the last segment, talking about how he's trying to handle these contracts. Yeah. And I guess it's a difficult question to answer, but in the scheme of things, is Jerry still more of a positive than he is a negative to the football operation here? Because the fact is, he's the one constant for the 26 years of this playoff championship drought.
Yeah, he is the one constant, and he's going to be the constant now because he is the owner. You know what I mean? He's the owner. He's not going anywhere. He's not going anywhere. And there's a lot of things you can look at and say, yeah, we've fallen short in those playoff games, but we've had success and opportunities to get to those playoff games. And those few times you get in those playoff situations, you got to step up and make the plays. I don't see in any of those situations where we lost those games that we can say, that was Jerry's fault. You know what I mean? I don't see where we can see that. His job is to put players on the field that can get to that point. He got them to that point. I don't see where we can point to those that lost against San Francisco or that loss against Green Bay and say, that was Jerry Jones's fault right there. That's all I'm saying. I understand the owner, and he has all the money, and everybody wants to be mad at him all the time if everything doesn't work out. But in those games, when the game was on the line, where was Jerry? He had nothing to do with it. That's all I'm saying, everybody. That's all I'm saying. You know what I mean?
And I don't want to put words in your mouth here, but just kind of sensing what you might have been saying in that last segment about being concerned about certain things. Is there a problem with the cohesiveness of this group, do you think?
That's axiomatic in this sense. football is a job that requires you to improve. It's not like most jobs where you punch a computer. And all you have to do is improve your skill to get ahead in life. Since this man-to-man, hand-to-hand comeback, it requires you to improve your skill, but at the same time, deepening your will, since I'm going against another grown man and not a computer. And as a team, we're going against another grown man full of a whole team full of grown men. And so we got skill and will. We're losing playoff games, not because of Jerry Jones, because of those collective wills are not together. You ask about how are they as a football team. To this day, Emmett, Troy, and I have never had a discourse. To this day, because we were focused on the same thing, and that's winning a championship. I think there's reasons to question if all of those guys are focused on the same thing, and that's winning a championship. That's the level of will I'm talking about that it would need to take.
Mike McCarthy enters his last contract year as well. Here's one way out of left field for you. You think there's any part of Jerry Jones who'd like to see Deion Sanders as head coach of the Dallas Cowboys?
I don't know about him. I know about me, though. You know.
But what's the answer for you?
Well, God, I love Deion. I love Deion. I love him. That's one of my best friends ever. I call him my little big brother because he's that direct and that organized. I think Deion is going to have great success. Whatever he touches his hands on, whatever he places his fingers upon, like a Midas touch, everything's going to turn to gold. That's one of his favorite colors, as a matter of fact. So, I would love to see Deion come in here. Now, with all that Deion brings, is Jerry ready to take, not a backseat. That would be a back seat, you know what I'm saying? Because Deion brings a lot with Deion. But boy, you talking about putting America's team on the map. It would be wild if that happens.
It'd be great for those of us who do what we do for a living, that's for sure.
Yes, it would.
And you've done this type of thing for a living for a long time. We're going to see you in a slightly different role on TV here coming up this fall, right? Well,
I'll be doing a lot of the same things, you know. I'll be working shows. I'll work for Fox and everything. I'll go on the Cameron and Mays podcast. The business is metamorphosing. It's more moving towards the devices than the traditional, Mike. And you see the numbers, the traditional TV. So you have to swim where the other fish are swimming. You know what I mean? So you kind of just metamorphose. You do some things here. I'll do some things on TV, but we'll also do other things also.
See you on FS1 on a regular basis here.
Oh, yeah.
Talking football this fall. Let's go back to Michael Irvin, Playmakers 88. One more. Sell it to us one more time here. It's open in the Colony, kind of up in that general Grandscape area.
Right.
What can people find when they go to your restaurant and your lounge?
It's right there next to Top Golf. Great location. Really a great location. And it's a beautiful area, beautiful people, the people that I work with in the Colony. You know, we want to have fun. They wanted a family atmosphere at Playmakers, and that's what it is. So, you know, it's a great place to come. You've been teaching your kids all about the Dallas Cowboys. You've been doing it verbally. I'm giving you visuals to help talk about the greatness of our team, to make sure they know we did win Super Bowls before, and hopefully we'll get back to it.
And you'll see this guy in the restaurant, I have a feeling, from time to time.
I'm always there, Mike.
Yeah.
I'm always there. Because first I had to learn operations before. I didn't speak to anybody for the first month of us opening because there was nothing I could say. I have to learn. You have to sit. You have to learn. You talk about leadership. Sometimes leadership just requires me being a great follower. Let me follow and see what people are doing. Then I can interject how we can maximize and find other revenue streams and then maximize that delivery and then work those margins.
Guy gets philosophical about football and gets philosophical about the restaurant business now.
Everything.
Thanks for coming in, Mike.
All right,
Appreciate
buddy.
it.